Hey guys, Moist here. I've had a lot of questions about people who are about to get to Twine. What's the best builds to get to do in Twine? What tunnels seem to work the best? I can't really speak for anybody else, but I'll show you mine. I was able to easily solo every Storm Shield in Twine up until 7. You rarely even had to fire a bullet. 7 and up so far. I'm on 9 right now. So 7 and 8, I actually had to put in some work, but again, it wasn't really that difficult. There was only one that I struggled with, and I will explain why and show you that when I get over there. First of all, this is my main amplifier. I built it this way, kind of like your basic pyramid with these structures around it. Where's it at? They tend to go, for me anyways, this direction every single time. This is the first place they spawn. I put spawn traps here. And as far as my traps go, my two favorite traps are going to be my ceiling electric fields and my gas traps. However, I do like the gas traps better. The reason for that is because the ceiling electric fields are nature damage. So they do less damage to nature and fire enemies, but significantly more damage to water enemies. The ceiling electric fields don't have any buffs towards any elements, but it does the same raw damage to everything, and it doesn't really have a weakness. I put these here mainly to kill and weaken most of the spawns that spawn here, and also helps with the lobbers. The thing about the lobbers are, especially when you're building this, if they can't see you, they don't throw anything at you. So whenever you build a trap tunnel, try to be out of the way of the lobbers or out of their sight so they can't see you. Anyways, they'll typically come up here, right up this way. And this is probably my strongest trap tunnel. I don't know why, it just seems to work out the best. Come all the way up to here. As you can see, I put floor launchers around here. The reason why I did that is because when the bigger ones actually get up here, they'll get launched up. They'll hit that wall launcher as well, go back, and they'll have to reset. Now, if they ever do get past my main trap tunnel, I still have this, which so far, all the way to number 8 or to number 9, I have had not one minion hit my base. If they've gotten close to it, they just get hit by the wall launcher, and they again just reset. I typically 1 through 6, I only used my turrets. I really didn't have to use anything. Like I said, it got a lot more difficult after that. I'll start with amplifier A first. Actually, where's it at? Amplifier B, I'm sorry. I'll explain why I built it this way and which directions they come from, because they can actually come from 2 different directions on this. I've never seen them come from this way before. Well, they'll spawn down there. They'll typically come all the way up here and through here. I helped friends with their Twine B before, and they have come that way, but I've never had that issue so far, so I don't have it built out. Mine always typically come from here. They'll spawn typically up here and guide down this way. They'll also run along here. They hit this, they hit that wall launcher, reset, and come down. The other main spot that they spawn is right here. Okay, this is the farthest you can build out on this trap tunnel, or on this these traps here, without the actual spawn destroying everything. So they'll usually split off from here and go up that direction, and the other ones will go up here. I love wall darts. They go about 5 spaces and they hit multiple enemies at once, not to mention their recharge time is very, very quick. It's really smart. Like how I have it is I'll put walls in the back right here, so after they pass through the trap tunnel, they're still getting hit, so you don't have to worry and just rely on your ceiling electric and your gas traps. Now, the floor traps that I typically use are the wooden floor spikes and the frost traps. The reason for that is because the wooden floor spikes slow them down while going through the trap tunnel, so they typically will take more damage. And the freeze traps will obviously freeze them into place, so your traps have more chance to reset and recover. Another really overlooked trap that I don't see too many, I mean, higher level players will use it quite often, but not nearly enough. I think one of the best traps in the game is the wall launcher. As you can see on my wall launchers, they are almost fully perked out. They go back typically 7 tiles, and the reload speeds on them are very quick. The reason why I like them so much is because again, they add a reset. So once they get up to here, typically 5 or 6 of them will get knocked back and they have to go through your trap tunnel again. So I love floor and wall launchers for that purpose. After that, they'll typically come up here, and the only minions that typically make it this far are the wall smashers. That is why I do not have any walls on my amplifier. The reason for that is because the wall smashers cannot damage the amplifier. No mist monster can. But if you have walls up like this, they will charge from back here into the wall and off the edge. So rather than have to waste bullets or sword durability or traps or anything like that, I can just build a wooden wall here. They'll go off the edge. I'll rebuild it after they go, and we're done. And again, I usually don't have any minions that will make it past this point, anyways. But if I do, it's typically very easy to take care of. This was my second to last amplifier that I placed. I got kind of sick of the typical trap tunnel, so I wanted to do something a little different. This one has been the most difficult and the hardest time I've had. I had to rebuild a little bit because I lost some structures in the last one. I haven't put down the rest of the floor traps yet because I'm actually out of planks, so I need to go farm those and then reset my wall darts as well. So how I have this set up is they will, every time they've been spawning up here, most of these minions will come through here and die before they actually reach the end of it. You also have some that will typically try to go through here. However, if you block it off properly, they'll completely ignore this area. By doing that, what you want to do is build a wall, stairs behind it, and a floor behind that. If you've got 3 walls and 2 of them are tier 3, means upgraded 3 times, they will completely ignore that area and try and go around because they're going to try and find the quickest way to your amplifier. So the only 2 ways to go for me are through here and around this way. Okay, again, I had ceiling electric traps or gas traps here, but they ran out of durability on the last one because I think it was somewhat like 9 minutes that I had to defend it. Now, if you watch my number 6 for Twine, this was no problem. Basically, they just dropped off of here, dropped down to the bottom, got knocked up by my floor traps, and just shredded by the wall spikes, or by the wall darts. As you can see, I have traps everywhere else because when I first built this, I had no idea where they came from. I couldn't find any videos about where their spawn points were, and I kind of just wanted to figure it out myself. But they'll fall down here. The only issues that I've had with this one are propane tanks. So if you can kill those propane tanks, those are really the only ones, because the only reason those floors went out was from them exploding, and it went out in the last 30 seconds or so. That's why I added these wall punchers to kind of knock them over again once they fall down for the wall spikes to kind of do their damage. Let's see. Next one I'll show you is G. This one is my favorite one, probably. I have had no issues with this one in almost, actually it's been 2 storm shields. I've had no issues with this one at all. I was actually really worried about how it was going to work out because it was a little too ambitious, I felt, but it actually worked really well. There's 2 spawns for this one. They'll either come up from here, spawn basically right here, and come up this way, which I have your typical trap tunnel here. They can also spawn from this way right here. I apologize, this is the wrong one. And they'll spawn down here. This one's been fairly easy. I do need to trap it out a little bit more because it got kind of hectic last time. I didn't lose any walls, but I just don't have enough traps right there. This is the one I was referring to. So this one is by far my favorite one, Amplifier F. F is below these freeze traps in the ground down at the bottom there. They will spawn here and have to make it through my traps here, down through the freeze traps. And the reason why I have the freeze traps there is to slow them down. I want to slow them down so it gives my traps down here enough time to reload and do their job. Typically they'll fall here, hit this wall launcher to this one, get pinged up, and usually hit this wall here. At that point they get up and get knocked in the lava. Again, I have had no issues with this trap design. I have had to kill a few stragglers or the people that didn't make it up there completely, But as far as the trap design itself, I have had little to no issues with it. Now, amplifier C. So this is one of the only ones that I don't have a spawn trap on. I don't really know why. I just never, it's not that I didn't think, I didn't really need it. They will all spawn here, and they typically go 3 different directions. You'll have a few stragglers and usually your flingers that will pass through this way. So just get ready to have your sword out of your melee weapon to take care of those. The other main way they go is through this trap tunnel here. Like I said, I love wall darts, ceiling electric fields, and gas traps, and I put floor spikes all along here to slow them down through that tunnel. The only other way they go is through this way right here. I usually have a wall puncher here and a wall puncher here for resets again, but like I said, these waves are getting longer and longer, and my traps are not making it as far. So if you do have a constructor friend that has the ability to extend the durability of those traps, if you don't want to solo it yourself, I highly recommend bringing one because it helps a lot. Not only does it make your building stronger, but your traps last a lot longer. They'll typically come up here and through here. The only issues I've had with this one are literally flingers. They'll throw Huss up on the very top of my amplifier right there, and I'll have to go back every once in a while and take them out. This one over here, which is what, amplifier D, seems to be the most intense one in the game so far for me anyways. About my build, which amplifiers I've put up first, because depending on what amplifiers you place will depend on where they actually come from. But this has been the most intense one here. They will spawn down here, come up through this way, and some of them will even arc through this way over here. That's why I have so many resets on this one. It's just it gets really hectic. Your traps run out by the 8th minute. There's tons of wall smashers that you have to deal with, and propane tanks will usually spawn for me on this one. They'll usually run right through here, and at this point they split off. So if you have a slow filled, which I would highly recommend for any trap tunnel or any defense, this is where you're going to want to place it. This is where the point is, where your traps are really gonna do its work, and this is where I would place that slow filled. They'll split off from here if they come from this way, through this way, and they'll usually hit over here. That's why I have those wall launchers there, and they'll also split off this way. I don't know why they try to go this way, but they go this way all the time. That's why I have the traps above this area here and those resets there as well. As you can tell, I'm missing quite a few traps on this one because last time I accidentally blew up a propane tank and destroyed a lot of my traps. It was within, I think there was like 20-25 seconds left, but I struggled with that one. But I made it through. As you can tell, a lot of people have asked me too why I put these wood triangles on top of my base. How elements work in this game, as far as resistance for your structures go, is water minions will do more damage, the most damage to brick, nature will do the most damage to metal, and fire will do the most damage to wood. But they never touch your trap tunnels. The only time your trap tunnels really ever go down is if they don't have anywhere to go, you have them blocked off. Like you want to try and avoid doing this honeycomb stuff that I see everybody doing, where you do this and you just do that everywhere. That doesn't give them anywhere to go. You want to guide them through the tunnel. You want them to go the direction that you want them to go. So try to avoid building anything like that. The reason why I have that's why I have metal everywhere is my point I was trying to get to. Since they don't touch anything, I like to keep metal just in case a propane tank does go off, because it is the strongest structure and hopefully I can recover from it. The reason why I have wood on top of that after that is because lobbers do less damage to wood than they do brick and metal. So if you're running into issues with a lot of lobber spawning and you don't have any spawn traps and they're tearing up your buildings, it's really smart to put wood on top of that and usually have a lot more time to recover from there. D will also spawn from the east. Now this one, in my opinion, is hands down the easiest if you have it trapped right in Twine. They usually spawn here. Some of them will spawn on this side as well, but not too often. Usually the main spawn point is right here. They'll usually choose to go through this trap tunnel here, but not very often. They usually go here. These wall punchers will push them down to the bottom. If they end up splitting on this side, it'll do the same effect. They'll end up landing there at the bottom. Typically, I've seen when they do come from this way, it's a timed mission, so really you don't have to put in any effort whatsoever. The reason why the floor launchers and the wall launchers are down at the bottom there is because if you knock a lobber off the edge, the lobber can still throw up and hit your amplifier, and it's just more of an annoyance than anything. You're not going to lose because of it. So I just put that there so I can pick them off if I need to. Now, if you do have one where they do go down and it's a minion kill, you have to kill a certain amount of minions. I would just recommend making rocket launchers and just blasting them as they fall back. Sniper rifles, AR, whatever you want to do, just pick them off after they go, because they actually do come back up top if they make it all the way up. So when they do come back up top, they go around this area here, they come all the way around the mountain, back up, and then through here. So that's why it's a good idea to have this area trapped out as well, which you needed from the other point anyways if they come from the south. Now this amplifier here, I haven't seen them come from this way for a very, very long time. Probably since the third Twine. But this is the spawn trap right here. They will typically spawn down there. Come through here. Again, I'm going to guide them the way I want them to go. And I actually had them split off right here. The reason why I had them split off is to save my trap durability. Just because at that time my traps weren't that leveled up, so I needed the trap durability to make it actually through. So they can go through the right here, go all the way around and come through here, or they can go the other way and come through there. After that, again, try and guide them the way you want them to go. That's why I usually use a one slot open like this. They usually come up down this way. Once they hit here, they usually get knocked back here and reset. And every time I actually build walls on my amplifiers, the only thing I ever put on there are the wall knocks. Reason for that is again, you could put spikes on there. It's a terrible idea to put these electric traps here because they have such a long reload time. They don't really get to do that much work. The spike traps are only going to do damage back, but you don't want your structures to get damaged regardless. While having these here with a quick reload time and a heavy knockback, again, it's just a reset over and over, and they have to run through your trap tunnel every single time. I can't stress how important it is to actually level up your traps, because they are as important, if not more important, than weapons in this game. They make a huge difference on how easily you're able to do a storm shield. And if you don't have good traps or you can't find somebody that makes good traps, hit me up anytime. I'd be glad to craft them for you if you supply me the materials. There was one other thing I was going to go through with you guys, and I can't think of what it was. Yeah, but if you guys have any questions about my builds, about trap tunnels, how to block off any enemies, feel free to invite me in game, and I'd be glad to help you guys with your Twine base. I've helped several friends with this exact setup, and none of them have had any issues with any of the classes they play. Thanks again for watching. If you guys have any videos you want me to make, just leave it in the comments. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. You guys have a good day.